Hey everybody, Beagle here. Thank you so much for tuning in. In today's video, I'd like to share with you my gear list and clothing items that I took to the JMT attempt in August of 2018. So if you've been following the channel, you know that I hit a lottery ticket for a southbound hike on the Muir Trail back in August. Unfortunately, that trip was cut a little short. However, this gear list is going to still be relevant because I'm planning on going back and completing the trail in August of 2020. Muir Trail is a 211-mile long-distance trail. The northern terminus is in Yosemite National Park in Yosemite Valley. And the southern terminus is Mount Whitney, which is the highest peak in the lower 48 states. Mount Whitney tops out at 14,500 feet. Now these are the gear items that work for me. You, of course, may have some different items, some different choices, but hopefully this is going to be a useful guide or some useful tips to give you some ideas on what you may need to take in the Sierra environment. So here I have everything laid out, all of my gear. I did lay out a sheet here. Hopefully it'll make it a little bit easier to see some of the items. They are grouped according to the type of gear. And I think we're going to start with the Big 4 or Big 3, depending on which school of thought you subscribe to. My pack is the Osprey Exos 58. It's the black and orange, or gray and orange. Love this pack. I moved away from the Osprey Atmos 65 AG, which is also a good pack. I still have it, just depending on which trip I go, I may take one pack or the other. Anyway, love the Osprey Exos. And as well as the large backpack on this trip, I took, it's the Sea to Summit Ultra Seal Day Pack. Weighs virtually nothing, but it did come in handy when we were acclimating in Mammoth Lakes. Just for day hiking around town, or going into town to get some supplies or whatever. My sleeping bag is the REI Magma 10 degree down bag. Very lightweight, very compressible. So far I've totally fell in love with this bag. I moved away from a Mountain Hardwear Pinoli 20, which was a synthetic bag. This one really tops that by a landslide. And I put inside the down my stuff sack for my sleeping bag is the Sea to Summit Event. This is a 20 liter, totally waterproof. Being a down bag, it's really important to keep this thing dry. My sleeping pad is the Big Agnes AXL air pad. Comes in right around 1 pound. Very comfortable. However, it is a little bit noisy, but I can get around that. Now, in order to blow up the AXL pad, you need to have the Big Agnes pump house. I'm going to move this over to a different pile here because we're going to revisit that in a minute. So one of the luxury items I take with me is the Exped Air Pillow Medium. This is a blow-up pillow. A couple features I really like about these Exped pillows is, number one, the shape. It's got this little curve shape right here. When it's blown up, it really fits your neck really well, so it's very comfortable when you're sleeping. Another comfort item that you can control on this valve right here. Once it's blown up, if you push the little nozzle right here, it'll let air out at very small increments, so you can get the tension just right on it and make you comfortable. So I highly recommend the Exped. My tent of choice is the Big Agnes Copper Spur HVUL2. This is my second copper spur that I've owned. I love this copper spur. Very lightweight. It is self-standing. You don't have to guy it down necessarily to have it standing, but very lightweight. I do separate the tent out into different parts. The poles go by themselves in my backpack, and the rest of the tent kind of gets folded up better, tighter inside the pack. So my trekking poles that I use on trail are the REI Carbon Power Lock. They are carbon fiber, fairly light. They are collapsible with the spring clips or tension clips. On trail I do not actually have these on. I take them off. My shoes and boots of choice on this trip were the Merrell Moab 2s. This is the second generation Moabs, and these are the ventilator version. So they are not waterproof, but they're a little lighter, breathe well, and they do dry fast in case you do get them wet. My pants of choice. These are the Columbia Silver Ridge men's convertible pants. They do have the zips on them where you can convert them to shorts. I love that feature. Serves two purposes. You don't have to carry extra hiking shorts if you want to wear shorts while you're hiking. My hiking shirt is the Arc'teryx Modus long sleeve. I saw this shirt on a YouTube video from another hiker. I don't remember who it was, but I checked it out and I've fallen in love with it. The material is so lightweight, and they've designed some horizontal ribs in the material, and it really helps on distributing the moisture, as you sweat. And it kept me really basically dry because the moisture evaporated almost instantly. My socks are the Darn Tough mid hikers. Love Darn Tough. They take a beating. Even my first pair that I own still have not developed any holes. I can't really beat Darn Tough. My underwear that I wear while I'm hiking is the Ex Officio. They are a 3-inch inseam, so the legs are just a little bit longer than your normal briefs. Gives me a little more protection from chafing, etc. They do dry out quick, and they're very comfortable. The hat I wore is the Outdoor Research Sunrunner cap. It does have the attachable sunshade that goes over the back of your neck if you want, and it connects right here at these two snaps. And it does have like a tie down. You can pull it tighter in case you get a really windy day. That was a godsend out there on a couple of the passes that we were on, and keeps the sun off of you. Now this one I may or may not have worn at any time on the trail. It is the Buff, brand name Buff. You can either wear it around your neck for additional warmth if you need it. You can wear it in lieu of the hat. If the hat's too warm, you can help control the sweat on your head with that if you wear it as a skull cap. My gloves are the Glacier Glove fingerless. Those were great. I had initially gone with Outdoor Research full finger gloves, but soon found out they were not touch activated, so it didn't really work with my phone, and I really needed my fingers, so I went ahead and picked up a pair of the fingerless ones, and they worked out a little bit better. I do wear Dirty Girl gaiters. They help, and really help, to keep the dirt and rocks out of your shoes. Sierra is very sandy. A lot of the trail is very sandy, very dusty. Highly recommend the gaiters. These are my sunglasses that I wore. Just a pair of, I think they're Liberty brand prescription. And I do take the case with them because I wear glasses full time, so I need to swap out my glasses. I need to put them into something where they will be protected, so I do carry this lightweight case. Moving on to my packed clothing. Now, this is all gear that I have in my pack in a waterproof dry bag. For the most part, there are a couple of exceptions like the shoes, but I mentioned earlier when we were looking at the AXL bag. This is the pump house from Big Agnes, and basically it is a bag that is used to inflate the AXL pad. It has a special connector right here. The nice thing is it is also a dry bag, so you can store anything in there just like any other dry bag, so it does serve dual purpose. So all this gear, except for the shoes, go into here when I'm not using them, when I'm not wearing them. So first off is my Smart Wool Long Johns. These are the lightweight, just in case you get a cool night. They do help, warm you up a little bit in the bag, or sit around and camp after you make camp for the night, just to keep you comfortable. This is the cool merino wool midweight top, long sleeve. Merino wool keeps you warm. They kind of go along with the Smart Wool bottoms. And for sleeping, I have these Smart Wool thick socks. They're more of a heavy weight. I sleep more comfortably when my feet are warm, so that's why I take the heavier grade socks. So these are another pair of Darn Tough hiker socks. These are the Cool Max version. They're a little more breathable than your standard version of the socks. My warm gloves, or my cold weather gloves, are the Cirrus Extreme. Waterproof, windproof, very comfortable if you get those cold or windy days at the altitude. Alright, my insulated jacket of choice is the Eddie Bauer Microtherm Storm Down Puffy Jacket. Very lightweight, very warm for the for its weight. This is the Under Armour Storm Beanie. I use that on nights for sleeping if I need it, or hanging around camp. Keeps my bald head warm. These are the Under Armour, it's part of their heat gear line. It's a pair of underwear that I think it's about a 6-inch inseam, so it gives me a little bit longer coverage on the legs. When I get into camp, I don't keep all the same clothes on. I usually change once I get to camp, get into the drier clothes, drier underwear, let the other things air out. So this will be my in camp and sleeping pair of underwear. And this is just an extra pair, another ex officio. I do carry a pair of Nike Dry Fit running shorts. They have a built-in, basic liner. I carry these just because if I want to take a swim in a lake, or maybe my Silver Ridge pants or shorts are just too warm, these ones are very, very lightweight and just another option. They're multi-use. And my pack towel is the REI multi-towel. This is the large size. I do like my towels if I'm wet, so I do carry a little bit, in this trip I carry a little bit longer and wider towel. My water shoes and or camp shoes, these are the Solomon Cross Amphibians. Very lightweight, breathable, they're almost a mesh. One thing I will say about them though is don't want to wear any of the heavier socks with them because they get to be really, really kind of tight. Moving on to my rain gear. I have both the Marmot Precip rain pants and the Precip jacket. I do like them both. I've never had any issues with them. This is actually my second Precip jacket that I've owned. I do like it that much. It is I think a 2.5 layer jacket. As for my pack cover, this is the Osprey pack cover, and it is a large size. I purchased it originally from my Atmos 65AG pack, which it fits great. It does work with the Exos 58 as well, if you don't have the brain on. Now for my food storage and cooking system, I use the BB500 for food storage on the JMT. Bear canisters are required in Yosemite National Park and a good part of the trail. This is the, like I said, the 500 model, and it weighs in around 44 ounces. The stove I use is the JetBoil Micro-Mo. Serves its purpose. It does about 2 cups of water, and that pretty much covers any mountain house or dehydrated meal that you would want. And it's more than enough for a coffee or hot chocolate or anything like that you might want to make. I do carry the smaller canisters, the 7-ounce cans of fuel for the JetBoil. Now on the latter part of the trail, I may go with either 2 of these or the larger version to get me through all the way to Whitney. I have a stainless steel cup that I use for my hot chocolate. I don't drink coffee myself, but this is great for either nighttime or morning drinking of the warm beverages. And the other thing that this is very good for, you bang it on a rock or something, it'll scare those bears away. Makes a lot of noise. So again, dual purpose here. For my eating utensil, all I carry is a Sea to Summit lightweight titanium, I think it is, either the spork or the spoon, long handle. These really come in handy for getting down into those mountain house meals bags. Sometimes with the shorter ones it gets kind of messy. This just happens to be the smooth end. I have the spork as well, which has got the prongs. So my water filter of choice is the Sawyer Squeeze full size. I like it because it's got a little bit better flow than the mini. Normally I do carry the flush plunger with it. I carry a Nalgene 1 liter along with a smart water bottle with the sport flip top for convenience. And it's a dirty bag. I have a Platypus soft roll-up bag. It's also a 1 liter. There's a couple reasons I went with this setup for this trip. I wanted the convenience of a very lightweight bottle just to save on some weight. But I also wanted to have something a little more reliable and sturdy just in case that one broke, leaked, or something else. The Nalgenes are pretty solid, pretty rock solid. The other reason for this was if I had a cold night on the trail, especially up at altitude, these are good for heating up some water in your JetBoil or stove, pouring it in there, sealing it up, throw it in your sleeping bag, and you've got basically a portable heater for hours on end. I've actually done it before, and it kept me, actually it was a little too warm. I had to unzip some of the zipper ring down on my feet. Went well past midnight, 1 in the morning, until the heat dissipated. And in the morning, rather than having very cold, icy water, you got some tepid water if you needed to drink something. Alright, my toilet kit. I do use the Deuce of Spades. Great little tool, weighs absolutely nothing. Toilet paper. I have some wet wipes in there, which are actually dehydrated. I wet them as I need them. Saves a lot of weight. And I have basically some pet waste bags that I carry as well. So you're supposed to carry your waste, your paper waste, out of Sierras. You're not supposed to bury it with your own waste. It doesn't break down as easy. So what I do is I take, we'll put the toilet paper within those little baggies, double bag them, and put them into a trash bag. Does just fine. You can't see it, you don't smell it, and you dispose of it at the next available waste dumping point. Alright, my electronics kit here. I do have the iPhone 6S Plus. That is my current phone, although I'm looking maybe to downsize by next year, but we'll have to see about that. Right now, that works fine for me. I use gut hooks and a couple other trail applications on there. This is the Garmin InReach Explorer. This is their upper end. This is more of for my wife's and my family's peace of mind more than it was for me, but I have found it useful. It does have some basic navigation capabilities to it, and it was good to talk with the family periodically when I was on trail. My lamp is the Black Diamond Spot. Basically takes 3 AAA batteries, very bright, 300 lumens, and you can control the variable intensity on it. I do carry a small Bic lighter just as a backup for lighting my jet boil. The piezo is pretty new on it, so it shouldn't be a problem, but every once in a while they've been known to go bad, so in order to have the ignition source, that lighter is a godsend. It's also good if you do make a fire up in the Sierras, although last couple of years it's not really recommended, and I definitely didn't need to make a fire to have a good time on the trail. Alright, the knife I take on trail is the Leatherman Squirt PS4. Very small, lightweight, and it has several tools that you could possibly use, but not in a full-size multi-tool. So it's not very heavy. It does everything that I need for it. I do carry a compass on trail, along with the Tom Harrison map pack. And I don't know, it's just the Eagle Scout in me coming out, I guess, but a lot of schools of thought on whether or not you need a compass or not. Personally, I would not go on any trail without it. You never really know when you may need to make an exit strategy off the trail. So I carry it with me. Alright, some of the other items I have are the Ben's lightweight head net. Depending on where you are and what time of the year in the Sierras, you're going to get bugs. So it weighs just a couple of ounces or a few grams, so it's not a big deal carrying it. I took 2 types of sunblock with me. The Banana Boat spray, this was nice just for covering and coating and protecting my like my shins and my back of my neck. The Walgreens brand 55 Sport, this is just a roll-on stick. This was good for nose, ears, forehead, you know, the parts that you didn't really want to spray. Because the rest of my body was covered with the sunblock clothing, so I didn't really have a whole lot to cover, but those 2 come in handy. Not really big, not a whole lot of weight. Do have some Deep Woods DEET off, go along with the head net in case I need it. Some hand sanitizer, and some chapstick with sunblock for my lips. Now, this hand sanitizer, this is a full-blown, full container. Obviously, I would probably squeeze some of this out before I go, as you don't really need a whole lot of hand sanitizer with you. A little bit goes a long way. My medical kit, which has all of my band-aids, bandages, anything for treating basic injuries in here, as well as some spare parts to my Sawyer squeeze. I got an extra filter gasket in there, you know, items like that. That's everything I keep in that kit. Alright, so some more electronic items that I have here. I did carry the Goal Zero Nomad 7 Plus for part of the trail. My last segment before we bailed out, I actually sent it back. Remains to be seen whether that goes with me or not again. For battery juice, I have the Pocket Juice 15,000 milliamp. It has several connections on it. It's got a regular 2.4 amp for your like iPhones. It does have the overclock, the speed charge for some of the newer phones that support it. You can charge it with Lightning in or a micro USB in. Cables and charger plugs, which all go inside this plastic bin here, and seals up pretty good. It's almost watertight, and then it goes inside a dry bag just for some extra protection. For filming, I actually use the Canon G7X Mark II. That is what I'm actually filming this video with right now, so I can't really show it to you. But I have some attachments on my trekking poles that help me utilize the filming capabilities here. So I can attach it right there, do like a selfie setup. I do have another attachment in the kit here, which I can swap out the regular base with one that accommodates an iPhone if I need to use the iPhone for a backup. The G7X is an awesome camera for its size. It's not a full DSLR camera, but it does have a lot of the capabilities and is very, very sensitive for nighttime photography, which is the main reason I purchased it. Now, on my Osprey Exos, I have an attachment. This is made by Justin Anderson. It is my water bottle holder from my Smart Water bottle. Highly recommend, if you haven't checked out Justin Anderson, he makes some good stuff. And this is one that I did not have on the GMT last year, but I have purchased it since then, and I will carry it next year. This is also Justin Anderson. It's for phones and some other items you can carry in this little webbing out front here. This one fits my 6S Plus. It was actually a custom size that he made for me. And I'll include a link for Justin's pouches in this video. So there you have it. This is my 2018 gear list and clothing items that I carried, and more than likely this is going to be very similar, if not exact, to the 2020 gear that I take when I make it back to the Sierras. I do have all this gear listed in a spreadsheet on my Google Docs that I will provide a link down below in the description. The spreadsheet will list the item names as well as the listed weights for each one of those items. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or feedback on the videos, please go ahead and put them in the comments section below. And of course, if you have not subscribed yet and you like these videos, go ahead and subscribe. We really appreciate it. Until next time, thanks for watching Beagle's Backcountry Adventures.